Hey, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hyatt Place, London City East, somewhere that is consistently the cheapest Hyatt branded hotel in London, on my stay in January 2026. I'm going to be giving an in-depth review of the room, as well as the common areas, the breakfast, the gym, and the all-important location, and I'm going to conclude by telling you whether this Hyatt hotel represents good value for money in central London or is somewhere that you should avoid. The Hyatt Place, London City East is located on Whitechapel Road, about a 2-minute walk from Aldgate East tube station on the District and also the Hammersmith and City line. It is about a 20-minute walk from both the Tower of London and the City of London. So you might be wondering, how is Hyatt's cheapest London hotel, located in Zone 1, in what seems at first glance to be a pretty good location? I think the answer lies in its immediate surroundings. When you think of Zone 1 London, you think of Buckingham Palace, Piccadilly Circus, and St. Paul's Cathedral. Unfortunately, immediately outside of the hotel are betting shops, vape shops, pubs, and cheap supermarkets. Now, I'll caveat all this by saying, I didn't feel unsafe in this area, no more than in any other part of London, which generally is not a particularly safe city these days. But I'm a 6'1", reasonably heavily built man, so my perception of safety walking around, particularly at night, has to be viewed through this lens. When you enter the doors, you are greeted not with a traditional lobby, but by something rather different: self-check-in terminals. Here, you simply enter your name, your booking reference number, tap your card, and the machine will print out your receipt and spit out 2 keys for your room. I thought this was pretty cool and super convenient, although if you'd rather have the traditional check-in experience with a human being, that is available down the stairs. For me, however, this was perfect, and I had my key in my hand in about a minute. With all that completed, you simply continue through the lobby and straight ahead to the elevators. Speaking of which, let's be kind and call the elevators minimalistic. My room today was on the 6th floor. When I came out of the elevators, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Notwithstanding the minimalistic lifts, the corridors were fairly nicely decorated. There was art throughout, the rooms were clearly signposted, and the carpet and overall finish seemed fairly decent. My room today was room 612, which is just a standard entry-level room, the cheapest I could book on the website. Let's go and take a look inside. But before we do, if you're enjoying the video so far, please subscribe. I know it's cliche to say, but it's a small gesture and it really helps my channel. Thank you. Okay, so first impressions of a room, not that bad. I mean, it's not a huge room, but I've seen far smaller hotel rooms in London for the price. I mean, there's a large bed, a desk, a TV, and a chair with 2 side tables. Not bad. Moving over to the window, there's actually quite a nice view out of it. It's a lovely day today, and I've got to say, I'm quite impressed. It's at this point I should probably provide an explanation for my international viewers, who may wonder why I'm being so impressed with a fairly average view. In central London, it's not uncommon to spend hundreds of pounds on a hotel room and get a view of a dumpster or a brick wall. So I know you're probably used to better internationally, but for London that's pretty good. On each side of a bed there is a power socket, which is a British-style power socket, as well as a USB-A style charger. There is a small chair and table off to the side of this. Now, I personally didn't use this and just threw my coat over it, but you might find some utility for it. Over in the corner is a decently sized desk, which is becoming increasingly rare in hotel rooms these days, so I was very impressed to see it. The desk features 2 more power sockets as well as 2 more USB-A style chargers. Also on the desk are 2 cartons of water which are replenished daily. Another thing that I wanted to show you, which I'd placed on the desk, is the receipt that comes out of a machine on the self-service check-in. I've placed my room keys over my personal information, but you can see how efficient it is, giving your arrival and departure as well as the Wi-Fi code. Next to the desk was a luggage rack to store your suitcase, and above that was a television, which, in my opinion, was perfectly sized relative to its distance from the bed. Moving into the room, they have a lot of stuff in the cupboard, including an ironing board, which is fairly standard for a hotel room, and they also have some spare pillows if the ones on the bed aren't enough. On the right-hand side, they have the things you'd usually expect to see, including a safe to store your belongings, which wasn't huge. You could fit a laptop in here, but maybe not a full-size gaming one. Moving down, they provide tea and coffee making facilities. On the tea front, they provided a few standard tea bags, including Twinings English breakfast tea, and some coffee, which was decaffeinated Nescafe and caffeinated Nescafe. Much to my surprise and pleasure, they also included a coffee machine with Nespresso-like, but not Nespresso, pods. This was a dual-lit machine, and I've got to say, it made a pretty good cup, and you got 4 pods, which was more than enough to satisfy your caffeine craving first thing in the morning. Now, unfortunately, the next thing about the room bugged me a little bit, probably more than it should, but not enough to lose any sleep over. The mini-bar fridge was switched off in the name of environmentalism, and you were invited to switch it back on if you wanted. Now, I'm not a scientist, so please chip in the comments if I'm really getting this wrong. But mini-bar fridges don't use that much electricity, and switching them on and off every time a guest checks in is going to drastically shorten the lifespan of a machine. So replacing the machine is going to have a much bigger environmental impact than the little bit of electricity you'll save by having it switched off in between guests. Not to mention the fact you're a hotel. You're meant to prioritize the guest experience, and by having it switched off, it wasn't cold when I went in, and I had food that I wanted to chill as soon as I went in. I think this is where my bugbear came from. I was annoyed that it wasn't cold for me to put my food in straight away. Anyway, rant over. On with the rest of the video. The air conditioning and heating was controlled by this panel on the wall. It was switched off when I went into the room, although it wasn't needed. The hotel was plenty warm enough throughout. The bed was very large, so you wouldn't run out of space, even if you're a very big person, and it was soft and comfortable. The sheets as well. To manage your expectations, they're not the softest sheets I've ever had, but they were perfectly comfortable to sleep in, and so were the pillows. Overall, a very pleasant room given its price point. Moving on to the bathroom. The bathroom door was this slidey door, which is good for conserving space. And I've got to say, moving inside, the finish was considerably nicer than I was expecting. For London's cheapest Hyatt, and just a regular Hyatt Place branded hotel, I was fully expecting just, the standard white finishings you'd see in a bathroom, but they've gone a cut above. The toiletries were by Kennet MD, which seems to be the standard Hyatt Place toiletries, as I've seen them worldwide in Hyatt Places. And the shower, thankfully, was a detachable shower head, which I personally find much easier to use compared to a fixed one. The shower itself is spacious, and you certainly will not feel cramped in it. The bathroom features a decently sized sink with a single tap to control the hot and cold water. Water pressure was good enough, no complaints. There was a toilet next to the sink with 2 toilet rolls provided, which of course were replenished daily. I'll be honest with you, for the price I paid for this hotel in Zone 1 London, in the Hyatt chain, therefore accruing Hyatt points and Hyatt tier nights, I was expecting far, far worse. Anyway, enough of a room, let's go and check out breakfast, which is served on the lower ground floor, which is in effect the basement. Breakfast costs £15 per person, which, sorry to keep sounding like a broken record, for central London is pretty good. There were coffee machines, which could make a variety of drinks, as well as several juices, waters, and a few smoothies. On the food side, there was a self-service full English breakfast, as well as what I didn't film, which was some cut fruits, cold meats, yogurts, and some pastries and breads. Being back to the UK for only a short amount of time, I went for the full English. In an effort to be healthy, I also picked up an apple and a smoothie, and I had a cup of coffee and a cup of water. Overall, this was far better than I was expecting. The eggs were well cooked and had a golden yolk, the hash browns were super crispy, the sausages were tasty and meaty, and the bacon was delicious. I don't know how to best describe it other than taste doesn't get captured well on video sometimes, and this tasted far better than it looked. I was pleasantly surprised, and I would recommend this breakfast. On the same floors for breakfast, perhaps to enable you to burn off some of the calories you've just eaten, is the gym. Whilst not the most visually pleasing gym, being in the basement and therefore having zero natural light, it kind of had everything you need. It had 2 treadmills, a cross trainer, 2 exercise bikes, and a weight rack with a number of weights at various sizes. Look, it's definitely not the most comprehensive or the most aesthetically pleasing gym, but at this price point, a lot of hotels don't even have a gym, so kudos to the Hyatt for including one. So, what can I say about this hotel? Well, for a start, the price. I paid £87 per night for my 3-night stay. Yes, you heard that right. £87 per night in Zone 1 London. For those of you that are not familiar with London hotel prices, that is a steal. As for the hotel itself, the room was decent, spacious for the price, and had everything you need, including a very comfortable bed. The breakfast featured a wide variety of options and was tastier than I was expecting, and they even featured a gym, which is rare for hotels in London at this price point. So this brings me on to the catch. Why is this hotel so cheap? And unfortunately, I think it all has to do with its location. As I mentioned at the start of the video, technically, on paper, this Hyatt is in a good location. It's very close to a tube station, and it's not that far from major landmarks like the Tower of London and the City of London. And that's true on paper, but if you're expecting to see this when you step outside of your hotel room, you will be sorely disappointed. Instead, you will be greeted by this. And therein lies this hotel's problem. It's just not on the nicest of streets. You step outside, you turn right, and what do you see? KFC, Burger King, vape shop, betting shop, pub, fast food restaurant. It doesn't have a great vibe. I'm not being snooty, I'm being realistic because this is a review video. Know what you're booking before you book this. It's cheap for a reason. You're not getting the central London experience, but if that doesn't matter to you, as it didn't for me, I was there for work. I just needed a cheap place to sleep for the night. If that's all you need, this is great. For the price point, the hotel far exceeded my expectations. If you don't mind the immediate surroundings, I would highly recommend this hotel. If you do, maybe look elsewhere.